You see this woman here, I think this woman deserves a certain place in prison because this woman traumatized a lot of children. It was trending that year in Calabar with your PH, even down to Asaba. One of my relatives then accused me of being a witch, said I used to fly at night, took me to one church. Like in our street that year in PH, there were these certain children that were stereotyped to be witch. Like my aunts literally told me to avoid them. That these people, they used to fly at night, that some pastors from Uyo came and said that they were witches. Like those children were traumatized. Now let me give you a gist about this woman. Let me give you guys this gist. Now this woman here is called Helen Ukpabio. She is the founder and pastor of Liberty Gospel Church. This woman is well known in Nigeria and in the abroad for her witch-termed Nollywood movies, which she produced in the late 90s and early 2000s. Now, this woman uses her church to organize crusades where she preaches on the oppression of witches. Everything about this woman revolves around witch. She doesn't use I see children on. Oh. So during the weekend, one jobless boy on Twitter celebrated the evangelist's 60th birthday. Things, however, took a wild turn as people pounced on the post, saying that Helen traumatized their childhood with her witches movies. Helen's daughter had to intervene in defense of her mother, but she was bashed big time. Now, according to Trending Explained, Helen Ukpabio was a notorious witchcraft hunter in the early 2000s. She specialized in kids witchcraft. According to her, she was once a witch before she was arrested by God. So she knows how to identify witches and neutralizes them. And she said witches are servants of the devil. Exactly. Helen Ukpabio said that any child that is stubborn, that breaks plates at home, that doesn't wash plates, that blows up electronics, that refuses to go to school, that stamps their feet on the ground, that like a lot amongst all is a witch and must be neutralized. That is delivered immediately. She even toured around countries delivering poor kids from witchcraft. She was so passionate about cleansing the world that she made movies to buttress her divine point. And the funniest part is that not only poor man children they be this with you. One lie. Now only poor man children be rich. Rich men children that year they not be with you. Her movies exposed her ideology to larger audiences. She made sequels upon sequels. It was her movie that taught Nigerians that when you collect sweets or biscuits from anybody, you're automatically a witch. In fact, you've been initiated, and in the night you start flying. Yes. The myth started from the legendary Helen Ukpabio. Due to her teachings and preachings, a lot of parents disown their children. Mothers spied their infants. Children were chased out of the house. If you go to the streets of Port Harcourt, Akwa Ibom, and other places, children were everywhere, littered on the street. That was when she started getting attention of the government, both locally and internationally. On July 3rd, 2009, Helen Ukpabio sent gunmen to attack a network taking care of witch kids. The thing was so brutal that the then governor of Akwa Ibom, Godswill Akpabio, had to visit the center to assess the damages. Helen Ukpabio still sued the owner of the network that he was harboring stigmatized kids. The state government had to make it illegal for anyone to call anybody a witch. That if you do so, it will attract a 10 years imprisonment and a 1 million naira fine. That was when Helen Ukpabio cooled and slowly faded away. Even one time, one NGO she went for an interview, and one NGO asked her why she promotes child abuse, and she said she never promoted child abuse. Apostle Helen compared her movies to Harry Potter. In her words, this is racism. After all, J.K. Rowling makes witch movies for kids. Can you imagine? So this woman was doing this thing for her selfish interest, to make money, to milk money, because the whole thing was giving her money. Are you not seeing how clumpy her neck is? She didn't just end with kids. So according to her, any female that doesn't dress like a Deeper Life member is a witch. Please, no disrespect intended though, I beg. Her works went so popular that so many churches started adopting her pattern, capturing child witches, torturing them, giving them acid in the name of deliverance. A lot of pastors were millionaires that period. They all turned into businessmen. In 2014, she went for witch hunting in UK. A lot of activists against her petitioned the US government. She was banned and deported. Now, in 2014 April, she was successfully deported to Nigeria. She tried entering the UK, but they kicked against it because of overwhelming evidence tendered. In their petition, they stated there have been numerous cases of children in the UK being tortured and sometimes died due to the belief that Helen Ukpabio espouses. Horrific murder cases such as Victoria Klimbe and Christy Bamu were linked to the practices of pastors similar to Helen Ukpabio. We cannot afford to wait for another such case before the government takes action to put a stop to such preachers. She is a risk to children. In 2012, Helen Ukpabio accused TB Joshua for performing a staged miracle, and she said that TB Joshua got his wealth from demons. Now her daughter is defending her, saying that her mother, everything is a lie. Meanwhile, there are books, there are movies produced by this woman, enough overwhelming evidence for the UK to indict her, but they rather deported her and banned her from entering the UK. Interestingly, according to her definition of a witch, her daughter would have been a witch.